back with another review, and today we're going to talk about review Aftermath, 2017 film, and this is more of a drama. Now, the plot here, Arnold's character in the film, he is this construction worker, and it's during the holidays, and he's welcoming his wife and daughter back home. He goes to the airport to pick them up, but when he gets there, he's informed that their plane had crashed, no survivors. Also, you have this other character in the film, this air traffic controller, where he had made an error and caused two planes to collide. One of the planes carrying Arnold's wife and daughter, and this air traffic controller, he breaks down. He can't cope with what happened. He feels responsible. So, long story short, he changes his identity. He moves to another town to get away from it all. And meanwhile, Arnold, his character, wants accountability. He wants justice. So throughout the film, Arnold is trying to, deal with this tragedy. At the same time, he's trying to locate this air traffic controller and basically seek justice. And that's the plot here. And, my reaction to this film, I watched it last night, and I just thought, okay, I understand, Arnold's trying to delve a little bit more into, some drama here. I don't think that quite worked out with Maggie because I felt that was just boring. And here, I would say, Arnold has a couple of decent moments of, dramatic acting. I do think he's capable, but at the same time, I don't think the story is right. I think, while Arnold does show some moments that, he can act, but the film itself, I think it just drowns in its own heaviness, storytelling wise, direction wise. And I don't think this was right for Arnold. Okay, if Arnold wants to go there, again, if he wants to try more at doing drama, pick better scripts, pick better directors, better stories. Because this film here, it just got to be too much for me. It's more of a drama, even though it will say, for example, on IMDb, it's a drama / thriller, but there's not much thrills. There's not one iota of suspense or edge of your seat moments. It's more of a tragedy film. It's more about, dealing with the trauma of losing your family, losing loved ones, dealing with the loss, dealing with, again, losing, loved ones. The cast, again, there's a couple of moments where Arnold, he can do drama. Again, I do think he has it in him, especially at this point in his life. Arnold now, he's in his 70s, So I do see that Arnold's trying here a little bit. It's slightly better than Maggie in terms of performance, in terms of acting. But at the same time, you just don't really care. And it gets to be a little bit too much, in terms of, again, with its heaviness and kind of being over dramatic, a little bit too melancholy. The other people in this cast, let me see here, Scott, or Scoot Mcnairy, didn't really care for his character much. The air traffic controller, especially the scene where he breaks down, where this is shortly after the events had occurred and he breaks down. I don't think that was good acting. I think he overdid it there a little bit, where he's talking to a couple of managers about what had just happened, and he breaks down, and I don't think that was the best acting. Maggie Grace is in this. Maggie Grace from Taken. She's in this here for a little bit. But, aside from Arnold, Maggie Grace, I mean, Scoot McNairy, I don't know what else he's been in. But, I mean, there's not too much to this cast. I mean, the film is an hour and a half. Directed by Elliot Lester, the same director of Blitz, the Jason Statham movie. And apparently this was the last thing he did. Like, he directed Blitz with Jason Statham, Nightingale, Sleepwalker, films I never heard of. But I mean, the cast, again, is nothing to write home about. Arnold, again, has a couple of decent moments where he can pull off, dramatic acting. I think the direction was a bit plotting. It's like you're waiting for something to happen, and it just really plods along, and it gets to be too dull at points. I didn't fall asleep on this film like I did Maggie. Again, I can say, between this film and Maggie, I think this is slightly better, but I don't think it's anything great either. I don't understand why also it gets like a 5. I mean, what's the IMDb? Like a 5.7? That's just as... So people are saying, oh, this is just as good as, for example, End of Days or Eraser. Like, come on. And, and I'll get into some spoilers here. I don't mind with this movie, but at the end, basically, Arnold catches up with Jake, the air traffic controller, goes to his apartment, stabs him in the neck, in front of his wife and child, which is already traumatic. Like, I understand you lose your family, but, why are you going to go to confront this guy, stab him in the neck in front of his wife and daughter or son, and then following that, you're going to sit on the couch right beside him. So again, he confronts the guy, kills him, and then he just sits on the couch with his wife and son. And then he goes to prison for 10 years. But, he gets out 10 years later, and he still looks the same, which I don't understand that. And then the son, it's the son, because the son comes back. He confronts Arnold at this graveyard where his wife and daughter are buried. And he pulls out a gun, and you think he's going to kill Arnold, but he doesn't. He just tells Arnold to keep moving, keep walking, and the film ends. It's like it gets to be too much, and it's, again, trying to be over dramatic and melancholy. And I don't understand, some of the reviews on IMDb, it's one of Arnold's best acting performances, and this and that, and I'm seeing all these ratings, 7, 8 out of 10, what have you. Like, again, I give credit to Arnold a little bit here for, trying something different, expanding his, on his acting. Here's a guy that's mostly known for action. I'm open to Arnold trying different things here, but I thought the story was a bit too much. The direction, it seemed repetitive. The cast I didn't really care about. I thought Arnold killing the guy was a little bit too much. Some people will like this film. I just felt, for me, this was just another dud in Arnold's comeback. It tries to be something, like Oscar bait, and it fails. Arnold's character, you know, the way that the film deals with you know, his loss, and then by the end, you're killing the guy. You kill the guy in front of his wife and son. So Arnold's character in the film is psychologically damaged. You can't deal with the trauma. He wants accountability. He wants justice. But I didn't care for, again, killing the guy. And then you go to prison for 10 years. You get out. And you still look the same. And then I don't know what I can really say about this movie here. Again, I think it's just it's just too melancholy for me. And the direction I felt was just generic and at times monotone. And yeah, I mean, that's all I can say about this movie here. You can skip this movie. You could tell definitely, and by the tone of my voice, it's starting to wear me down here. After watching Sabotage and Maggie and Terminator Genesis and this film, and then I still have to review Killing Gunther and Terminator Dark Fate. So I'm just kind of ready to get this done. But yeah, it's starting to wear me down here a little bit. But Aftermath, at the end of the day, again, this is one that you can skip. I understand if some people, if you like the film, that's fine. I'm not going to change your mind. But for me, I felt this was a bit of another dud for Arnold. I thought this was another dud. But thank you for watching and have a good day.